Yo, what's up? It's Infamous AJG. Or you can just call me AJG. We with sports team for the weekend turn up. Let's get it. Yeah.
BT, yo, you wildin'.
5 things I can't live without. Okay, 1, the gang. Definitely the gang. 2, the fam. 3, God. 4, pasta. Gotta have pasta. 5, music. Obviously music. Definitely fake singing. Time wasters. People who don't believe in the vision. Veggies. Veggies I've eaten enough for a whole lifetime already. And damn, I really need another one, huh? Slow devices. I hate the slow laptop, I hate the slow phone, and I just can't. Yeah, that's number 5.
Have been getting no sleep. Have been smoking on cheese. Have been chilling with cheese. All on the road for the chip. Yes. All for the trip. Yeah, we all on the road for the top.
Okay, so even though I'm a hip-hop artist, weirdly enough, I actually came up on listening to a lot of pop, a lot of R&B, old school R&B, you know, the early 2000s, 90s, funk. Only later, like 2010s, I actually got into hip-hop through listening to Weezy. So Weezy is definitely my top influence. And then through that, I've gone through other influences would be Logic, King Los, definitely Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Biggie. I started making music back in 2014, and then in 2016 I started dropping a few covers, and that shit started popping off kind of nice. And ever since then, you know, I've kind of been grinding, kind of been pushing till this point, till right now, yeah. Okay, so prior to lockdown, the 2 years prior to lockdown, I was doing hella shows. I know for a fact I must have been one of the most booked artists in Cape Town. But what a lot of people don't know is that I was actually behind the scenes, actually hosting 90% of those events, working on them day and night. And that's why I was on all these lineups. But as lockdown hit, you know, obviously it was a big hit for musicians, for artists, for all creatives around SA, around the world. And I had to find a new way, you know, to get back up on the horse. So I used that time during lockdown to, you know, sit down, work on the craft, build my team up, work on learning about branding and just learning about the industry. And now it's at a point where I've done all the behind the scenes work, I've been putting in the hours, and we're finally letting the music shine, yeah. So Trap Daddy, that was my big single for the year. It's my first music video as well. That came about just chilling with the homies one day, you know. Shani J had sent me 5 beats. I went over to the homie Links, he's just my engineer. And we were bouncing through the tracks, and no one actually wanted to record on this day, but then we heard that beat and it was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then the homie was like, we're gonna party. Really? And then after that, we were like, yo, you onto something. That's dope. And then from there, I started coming up with my verse. And then I tracked my verse, he tracked the hook. Song came together like that. A month later, we shot the music video. And things have been moving, and it's all a build up to my EP for this year called Trapped in Paradise. Now, a lot of people watching this, or a few people watching this, might know that my debut EP was Trapped Out Paradise. And the reason this is called Trapped in Paradise, yeah, it's because Trapped Out Paradise, I was in a phase of my life where I felt like I was trapped out of where I wanted to be at that moment. You know, I wanted to be able to walk in spots and people are like, yo, that's AJG. I wanted people to know the music. And then with Trapped in Paradise, I got to a point where I was walking into spots and people knew I was. They knew my music. And with that came a lot of pressure, but it was more me putting pressure on myself, you know, and I felt like I was trapped in this space, you know, and that's why it's called Trapped in Paradise, and it's part of a trilogy, which you guys will obviously get along the line. Yeah.
Young Shanny J, he the plug.
We can party. Who get it lit? We can party. Who get it lit? Who get it lit? We can party. Who get it lit? Who get it lit? We can party.
Okay, so I know lately there's been a lot of debate about is SA hip hop dying out? Honestly, I don't think it is. Like, you can see all the names on the come up right now, and when we're talking about Cape Town specifically, if you look back even just as recently as 2 years ago, you wouldn't see many artists on Josie lineups. There was a stigma to Cape Town that Cape Town had one sound. And that's not me speaking negatively, you know, downing a certain sound. It's just that there's so much diversity to Cape Town, and finally people are picking up on that. Like, you can feel the shift. You're seeing more and more names popping up in Josie now. You're seeing more and more names pop up with different brands like Sportscene, for example, all coming out of Cape Town. So definitely I feel that the people within Cape Town, I feel the industry can feel that things are starting to actually bubble in Cape Town. People are starting to see like, yo, we actually have something to say. We have a whole lot more to offer the country, so.
1992, yeah, can I take it back? I've been with the goons, yeah, always with the bag. Summers with a few, slumming with the gang.
I believe that I'm way more than an artist, you know, I'm way more than the music. There's so much more that I actually want to do. Music is just one way of me expressing myself. In the future, late down the future, I'd love to get into movies, into series, obviously plugging my music into movies and series, doing more brand deals, you know, with bigger brands, you know, the corporations you dream of, like, yeah, you feel me? Yeah, like, there's just so much more I plan for the future, and yeah.
Who get it lit? Who get it lit? We can party. Who get it lit? Who get it lit? We can party. Who get it lit?
Yo, like I said, it's Infamous AJG. Shout out to Sportscene for putting a boy on the weekend turn up. We out here, CBT, you know what it is. Yeah.
We can party. Who get it lit? Who get it lit? Who get it lit? Who get it lit?